When I began the process, I kind of felt hesitant to talk about it because I kind of like to live in the now and I didn't really want to think about the future too much. And it was kind of a scary thing to think about where you're going to be for the next 4 years of your life.
Beginning is definitely probably the most overwhelming part just because there's so many options and you're really just starting by looking at every single one and there's not really, like you haven't narrowed anything down yet.
I was both very excited and very nervous at the same time.
I felt kind of overwhelmed because I never had any idea of what major I wanted to do or where I wanted to go to college.
At the beginning, I was a little unsure where to start because there's a lot to do.
It's definitely very overwhelming to start the college search process because there are so many options out there.
So I was a little nervous. It's a little weird trying to transition from high school to college because we've never done it before. It's a lot different than middle school to high school.
I'd say overwhelming is the best word to describe that.
To know if a college is the right fit, like when I went to a college, I knew that was definitely like a top choice for me. It just like hits you right there. You'll know.
Finding the right fit is something that I have had trouble with. A lot of people talk about having this moment on a college campus that you just know that it's the right school for you, and I never had that.
And I also tested out a pre-college program at one college and I really liked it, and I just knew from that moment that it was the right fit for me.
The right fit for college is a little hard to explain because I didn't really understand it until I stepped on that campus and I was like, wow, I really can picture myself here.
And I found something that combined my programs and my after-school extracurriculars to find that perfect fit.
Is this a place where I could see myself living for 4 years? That was how I kind of went about it.
So I think the right fit is whatever you make of it, in a sense.
It doesn't have to just be one school that's perfect for me and one school that's right for me. I could find myself being happy in a lot of different places.
I loved the Common Application. It was really helpful for all the schools on it.
So the Common Application is really long and tedious.
I really liked it. I also had to go through different processes since I was applying to art school.
Very useful. Very, it's kind of easier. You know, you don't have to go to each college website.
It was very simple, straightforward, and it also organized like all my colleges too, which was very helpful.
As far as the Common App goes, I got really lucky. All of my schools were on the Common App, which I know doesn't happen for everyone.
Even though it's tedious, really focus hard on it and just get it done early, get it done right when it opens in August.
I would say to work on a little bit every day because it's a really long application.
Well, when my parents first mentioned my college essay, what went through my head is like, oh God, I had to do another huge essay, but then they told me how long it actually was and it didn't seem too bad.
Writing a college essay, that's a big part, and I would definitely say do that over the summer. That's my biggest regret about all this. I waited, I wanted to take a break because I had a long, stressful junior year, and I said, okay, I'll just take the summer off and I'll do it. And I told myself I would work on it over the summer, but I didn't actually.
I think the best decision I made with writing the college essay and doing the portfolio was doing it this summer going into senior year.
There were a lot of things I didn't like about it. So I worked with Miss Forsyth in the Writing Center and she was a huge help. I would definitely recommend that to any junior or anybody like for college essays or any essays. It's just helpful to have someone else look at your work.
I knew that in some way I wanted to incorporate my passion for music.
Kind of did my writing piece later than usual in the college process. It is kind of overwhelming because you have 5 prompts to pick from.
For me, I wanted to incorporate not only what a college looks for, but what makes me who I am.
Coming up with the idea for the college essay, that took a lot of personal reflection and kind of how I wanted to come across to these colleges. So I had to spend a lot of time reevaluating who I am and thinking about myself. So that part was difficult.
I just started formulating ideas and brainstorming around it, and then I started to think of this idea of positivity and working around situations. So that really helped me to create the message. And I thought of times in my life where positivity has really helped and conquered all.
Even now, where I love my essay, I hate my essay, I'm bored of my essay, you go through different phases with it, so it's helpful to get an outside look at it.
So for my rec letter, since I take such an importance in extracurriculars, I wanted a teacher who not only knew me in school as a good student, but had done stuff out of school with me. So I had a teacher who was my baseball coach for 6 years, and then my other rec letter, I had someone who went on a school field trip with me to the Galapagos Islands, which was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
You know, I have good relationships with all of my teachers, but you just got to find that one teacher that, you know, you have that connection with, and you kind of had them for multiple years or had her for multiple years.
Well, I thought a lot about it, and then I thought, what teachers know me the best? What classes that I really enjoy?
I tried to pick a variety of teachers for my rec letters because I wanted to have a good balance.
I think it's a good idea to pick 2 teachers, one in the field that you're interested in and one that you just have a good relationship with.
So when I was thinking about picking teachers for my recommendation letters, I was trying to think of what teachers knew me the best.
And ask early also, because they're going to have a ton. So.
Yeah, I had a college interview, and I think if you have the chance to have a college interview, you should definitely take it. I think it was one of the most helpful things that I could have done in the process.
They're a little scary at first, but I think they're a great way to let colleges see you like in person rather than just on a piece of paper. And you can they can like see that you have a personality.
They can be fun. If you get a person that fits you, it can be really interesting. You can talk a lot about not only yourself, but they can provide insight as what you would like in the school, not just like, oh, we have a great biology program. They can tell you stuff that's not on their website, and that's what's really special about an alumni interview.
And I find them really helpful. It's really hard to get your application to stand out on paper. You know, everyone applying to certain schools have similar test scores, they have similar grades, everyone does extracurriculars, but I think an interview can really help you stand out.
And they were awesome. They just ask you questions about like, why do you want to go to this school? Like, what makes us the right fit for you, like we were talking about earlier. And I just think it's really cool to be able to talk to them, and it really helps you. I would do as many college interviews as you can, because it really helps you get a feel for the school and the vibe that it has.
Be yourself and don't stress out too much. But I know that other people had interviews with colleges where it was really stressful and there were specific things you had to know. So I think it depends on the college, but you should definitely do background research on the types of interviews that those colleges have.
Even if you don't really want to do an alumni interview, they can be so helpful for you down the road in making the ultimate decision of where to pick.
All of my interviews were very comfortable. No one's trying to interrogate you or make it hard for you, which is something I was afraid of at the beginning. Like, you're not going in and being tested. They just want to get to know you and have a better sense of who you are. So I think it helps you more than it can hurt you.
So the biggest obstacle for me was not just supplements, but adding on schools through the process.
Something unexpected, like during the college process, was that a lot of colleges have supplemental essays.
I was a little overwhelmed with the amount of supplement essays that I had to do. It caught me by surprise. A few schools had more supplement essays than I thought they would.
If you have siblings that went or are in college, make sure you know when they graduated and when they started, because I was very confused with that. I was trying to do it by myself, but your parents should know all of that. Also with your parents, if they went to college, you need to know when they graduated, so just make sure you have a parent when you're talking.
Earlier in the year I broke my leg, so it was harder for me to tour schools, so like I didn't really get a feel of what schools I wanted.
I think learning to just listen to what you want and pay attention to just that is one of the harder things that you have to learn throughout the process.
I would really suggest making a more firm list as to where you see yourself in the future, so you can have a better basis for what work you're going to need to do.
I would definitely say make deadlines for yourself. And it's never too early to start the application process.
I think the best piece of advice I can give to juniors is to start early and stay organized with the process. There are so many different pieces to the application process.
I would say start early, because that's one of the best things I did. And also, I would talk to someone that goes to a school you're interested in, because I know I did that, especially from Hopkinton High School, and it was really helpful.
My biggest piece of advice for juniors starting the college process is to start early. I finished my college essay at the end of junior year, and I did a lot of work that summer going into senior year, and I could not be more thankful.
Everyone's going to be freaking out over it during the school year while you already have it done, so it just feels good to get it done early and relax your senior year.
Get it done way earlier. Start early. Even though you can take regular decision, take early decision, because honestly your senior year is supposed to be fun.
Honestly, just relax. It's all gonna work out. So really just take a deep breath. Don't stress out too much about the common application. Do it early, get your essay done. Then after that, it's all just plugging information in, and that's really easy. Anybody can do that. So. Well, at first, I didn't want to talk about it at all. I just was like, no, I don't want to talk about college. I'm in high school right now. I'm just a junior.
For parents, don't stress your kids out too much, but make sure they know to stay on top of everything.
Some advice I'd give to parents is don't kind of talk about it too much with your kids, because it's kind of nerve-wracking at first for them. They don't really want to talk about it.
I mean, you have to know your relationship with your child, but it's your child's college process, and this is where they're going to go to school.
If they're having some trouble, it might be good to back off.
Not only are you overwhelmed with all the information that your son or daughter's telling you, but if they need help, they'll come to you, definitely.
I would definitely say keep your kids on track, but don't get too over-involved in it.
I think it's really important that parents are involved and are helping their students stay on top of everything, but it's also important to remember that you're not the ones going to college. Be
cautious with talking about colleges, and when family's over for Christmas and Thanksgiving, they're always gonna be like, oh, what college are you going to? Do you know yet? That's gonna stress the kid out. So it's really just tell everybody they're going through this right now, and so are we.